Good morning. For those online, I'm just answering a question to Dana. I don't know if your camera's on. We actually don't see everyone on our end. We're not looking for everyone to have their video active, so you don't have to have your video on. All right, everyone, I think we're gonna get started. So once again, good morning, everyone. My name is Martin DeAndre, your instructor for today. Thank you guys for making it. And today we're gonna cover business planning. So as we know, I think as most of you guys know, as agents, right? When we, work with the buyer or work with the seller, we wanna go from point A, right, to listing the property to closing, right? And sometimes we think it's just a straight shoot, right? Or at least in our mind, we want it to be a straight shoot. But of course, it's a dance, and sometimes you got to go backwards, and sometimes you're terminating the contract, and then you're reinstating the contract, renegotiating the sales price after the appraisal, right? And we're doing this whole big dance, and then ultimately, you get to the closing table, right? So success looks a little wonky, and just want you guys to be mindful of that success sometimes can seem really difficult and really challenging to get over that hill, but we ultimately do and will reach our goal. Okay, great. So top three reasons people become realtors, right? To become their own boss with a flexible work schedule, right? Earning potential is unlimited. I've seen, as compliance manager, I see all the closings, I see all the files that come into our system. So I've seen agents make $10,000, and I've seen agents, and this is last year, and this is real, seen agents make $10,000, and I've seen an agent make $200,000, right? So it just really depends. It's unlimited. It's what you put in is what you're going to get out of it, right? And then, of course, the low cost and the learning curve to get a real estate license, right? It's probably one of the, I would say, one of the lowest cost fields and licenses to kind of get into and actually start a business. So with that being said, and I will be checking online with you guys as well as I'm asking some questions. So if you guys can throw your responses in there, I would greatly appreciate that. And I'll repeat your responses as well. But I want to ask you guys, what percentage of agents do you think do 90% of all transactions? 10%. Okay. You got 10. Anyone else? 5. Anyone else?
I agree with 10.
I got someone online saying 20. I see someone online saying 3, 15. What did you say? I'm sorry.
I agree with 10.
You said 10?
10.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna, we have a bunch of ideas out there. So I want to ask another question. What percentage of agents fail within 5 years?
85%.
He said 90, 75,
85.
80, 75. I got online, I got Lorena says 60, Melanie says 85, Candace says 90, 85, 90. So that's pretty high, right? That's pretty high. Well, let's look at the results. Let's see what it is. So it is 10%. So kudos to you guys who got that right. 10% of all agents do 90% of the transactions. And then 87% of agents fail within the 5 years. So you guys are pretty close on that. So with the 87% of agents that fail within the 5 years, why do you think that is? You guys tell me. Throw it out there. It doesn't matter. So why does that happen? Why?
They don't treat it like a business.
Aha. Why are we here today?
To learn how to treat it like a business.
For your business, right? So let's look at the reasons why that is. The top 3 reasons why agents fail. So first, no plan, right? For starting or growing your business. In fact, many realtors don't realize they're actually starting a business. So a lot of realtors I talk to, they say, oh, this is just my side gig. This is not a side gig. Side gig is like waiting tables, right? Like part-time. That's a side gig, or Ubering, or DoorDash. Like that's a side gig. Being an agent is not a side gig. It's a business, right? And you got to treat it as such. So number 2, don't have the skills needed to generate sales, right? If that's the case, we're here today, right? We got tons of CE classes. There's lots of things you can do to learn to negotiate, learn to increase your sales skills if you need to, right? And if that's not how you're going to generate business, then you have to look at other ways to generate business. If it's not going to be just by lead generation, right? You want to look at other ways. Number 3, lack of discipline necessary to become a better business owner by training and working on their business, right? So those are the top 3 reasons. So this class today, most of the CE classes that I teach, I'm up here just talking for like 3 hours, which is okay, right? Because it's just a lot of good information. And you guys are just sitting there like, yeah, that sounds good. That's great. That's not this class. I'm just going to be very honest. This class, you will get out of this class whatever you put into it, meaning that I'm going to ask you guys to do a lot of exercises. I'm going to ask you guys to do a lot of different things, which is in your handbooks that you have today. That will actually help you start building your business and working on your plan, whether it's building your mission statement, building your elevator pitch, working on your goals for your actual business plan. So I'm not going to do that for you, right? I need you guys to do that, right? So if every class I teach, I will say every business planning class I teach, there's always one at least person who's just staring at the ceiling. And so my one takeaway to say to you guys on that is that's okay, right? Because at the end of the day, if you don't do it here, because if you're going to do it with me helping you, you're not going to do it at home. So just keep that in mind. So it's to your benefit. It's not to my benefit. I'm here for you guys, of course. But again, what you put in is what you'll get out. And of course, if you don't participate, you'll look at the ceiling and you're like, I can't wait till 12:30 to get out of here, right? And then make sure that you've built in time to work on your business plan after this class, because we'll kind of get the foundation going for your business plan, but we won't like finalize it today, right? It's just to get you thinking about what is my goals for this year, right? And what is my mission statement for my business? What is my elevator pitch? Who is my target audience? Who's my target clients? Like, who am I going after? Is it first-time home buyers? Is it military personnel? Is it relocations? Is it millennials? Like, who are you? Is it young families? Like, who are you targeting, right? So it'll help kind of build some of those things for you so that you can get a better sense of where you need to go with your business, right? So that you can grow it. So, and of course, as you guys know, we really put enough time in to our business and ourselves because there's no one behind us like, come on, you got to do this. You got to do this, Debbie, right? Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. So as agents, we have nobody motivating us. We're our own motivators. So we got to self-motivate and do it for ourselves. So with that being said, when the why is big enough, the how is easy, right? So I'm going to say that again. When the why is big enough, the how is easy, right? Because it just happens, right? So people accomplish significant things when they have a big why. The big why may be a life purpose, a goal, or a vision one is passionate about, or simply an important need, right? So without a big why, we eventually lose that motivation to do the work to get where we want to go and get things done. So your why, of course, is more important than money, right? Because we're always going to work and figure out how to make money, right? And keep a roof over our heads. So it's more important than that. So according to Japanese culture, everyone has an ikigai, right? It's a reason for living. It indicates the value that one finds in their life or the things that make someone feel like their life is valuable, right? It refers to our mental and spiritual circumstances that make one feel like their life has a reason, right? So what you love, that's your passion.
No, you're fine.
What you're great at, that's your profession, right? What people pay you for, right? It's vocation. What the world needs, that's a mission, right? Whatever your mission is. So this is kind of our reason for living, these things, right? No, just take a picture, just get out of the way. Cool. So I want you guys to reflect, take a few minutes to reflect and discover your big why, right? And you don't have to answer these questions, but I'm just throwing them out there. Like, what is my purpose, right? You went into business. What's the purpose of you becoming an agent, right? And why did I go into business to begin with in the first place? Why did I become an agent in the first place, right? Why do I want to stay in business for myself as an entrepreneur, right? Why do I want to grow my business and increase my personal income? Why do I want to improve my health? Why do I want to systematize my business? And why do I want to create an organization of excellence? And why is this all important to you, right? So I would like you guys to take the next 5 minutes or so. And in your handbook on the first page at the top, it says, I'm committed to creating my best year ever because. So if you guys can take 5 minutes and jot that down. It could be because you want to build generational wealth for your family. It could be because one day you want to open your own brokerage. It could be a lot of different things, right? So just take the time and again, think about the questions that I posed to you guys. Your big why for this year, I'm committed to creating my best year ever because. Okay, how you guys doing so far? Not bad? Cool. How's everyone doing online? Everybody doing good? If you guys are done, for those online, if you don't mind sharing, that would be great. I'll share why you're committed to having your best year ever. You look like you're done. She's like, I knew it before I started. Awesome. I'll just give like another minute, and then I would like some of you guys to share some of your thoughts on why you're committed to having your best year ever.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I was born ready. I'm waiting for you guys. That's my famous saying. So yeah, so jump in, guys. I'm gonna actually start off with some online. So I got Patty. She says for financial stability for her family. Awesome, Patty. I got Anne Marie. She says she planned on opening her own brokerage. Very nice. Sapphire says the service online, she's having some issues. I apologize. That's not going to help us. Lorena says, I would like to see major growth in my 4th year of real estate, and it's time for a change. I've treated this as a side hustle for some time, and now she's ready to dive in full time. Excellent. All right, cool. So let's start in here. Debbie, you're committed to your best year ever because.
Because I want to take the financial pressure off of my husband. He
Very
has
good.
been awesome and helped me take care of my mother, and it's his turn.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you. Awesome. Anyone else?
Sure. I said because I want to just be in business for myself and be able to provide for myself and eventually create generational wealth for my family to come.
Awesome. Thank you. You want to check?
Yes, my husband and I are at retirement age, and we want to have additional income from retirement.
Very nice to go on your vacations and do all the fun stuff. Sounds excellent. Sounds excellent. Awesome.
Out of the driving trucks and us going out traveling, whatever we do.
Nice. Nice. Well, awesome. I'm gonna read a couple online and then we're gonna jump forward. So I got Dana. She says she's committed to her best year ever because she wants to create generational wealth and she wants to purchase homes for all her kids. Wow. Go Dana. We got Corinne. She says she's committed to her best year ever because she wants to be successful and prove to herself and children that she can do it, right? That she can work for herself and support her family. That's excellent. And I'll do one more. I have Candace. She says for her overall growth for herself and others. And thank you guys as well for participating and sending that information. So we're going to move along. So I'm glad we got the big why down. Before we move along, I just want to say one thing. I think that it is great that you guys are here today, but I will say we are a little behind schedule, right? In the sense that we're doing business planning in February of 2024. We're not that far behind schedule, but I just want to let you guys know going forward, when you plan for your business for the next year, you want to start in October. You want to do it the last quarter of every year so that when you make yourself a January goal, you already have the action steps and tasks in place in December to hit those goals in January. So yes, we're a little behind schedule, but the fact that you guys are here today and you guys online are here today is an amazing step that you're like, you know what, I need to grab the reins of my business, set some goals and work on my plan and get it done. So we do have 10 months left. So we do have a lot of time left of the year. But just keep in mind for 2025, you want to start planning in October. So I'm going to jump into behavioral styles. So how do you typically communicate with others? This is important for business planning, also for growing your business. Are you naturally productive on your own, or do you need motivation from others? Do you often question things or follow directions that you're given? To answer these questions, they point to your behavioral style, right? Everybody has their own behavioral style. Some people call it personality, but the behavioral style differs from itself and from personality because it's essentially a pattern of habits of behaviors that can be readily observed, and it's how you handle tasks and interact with people, right? So what's your behavioral style, right? Which terms describe you? Forceful, enthusiastic, patient, cautious, right? What words would your family and friends use to describe you? Please don't tell me. No, I'm just joking. No, what would your friend, literally, what would your brother or sister say about you as a person, right? What would your best friend say? What do you believe to be your most outstanding characteristic, right? And what real estate activities do you enjoy the most? And what real estate activities do you run from, right? So just getting to know your behavioral style is going to really help you be able to build and grow your business. So we're going to cover the DISC assessment behavioral profiles today. So, sorry, there you go. You're welcome. So I'm going to start, actually, it's called DISC, D-I-S-C. So I know it's a little backwards, but I'm going to go this way from right around to left. So for the high Ds, they often appear in a hurry. They're very direct. They're very blunt, right? They interrupt others, may talk to many people at the same time, like they love to multitask. And they're aggressive and demanding, right? And none of these styles are bad. I will say we have a percentage of each of these in ourselves, right? So just keep that in mind. The high Is, they're open, friendly. They like to talk a lot. They get easily excited. They're animated. They talk about people that they know. They don't focus much on the details, and they don't listen for long, right? And then we have the high S's who appear calm. They don't get easily excited. They'll nod and just kind of go along with things. They seem to have strong opinions, but they don't express them vocally, right? And then we have finally high C's. They appear reserved, somewhat timid. They're quiet. They focus on the details. They ask many questions, right? And they proceed cautiously, and they don't easily express disagreeing views, right? So which style are you guys?
As I'm reading that, I'm saying I'm a little bit of each. So how does that work?
No, everyone is. And that's what I was saying. So we all have percentages of the full DISC as part of us as individuals for our behavioral styles. But there's only usually one that is your high, right? So that's the question. What is your dominant behavioral trait, right? And once you identify that and know that, you'll know how you can interact with others. But you'll also know how to interact with your customers. Because maybe you're a high D, and maybe you're working with someone who's a high C, right? They don't want things to be done in a hurry. They want to go slow. They want the details. They want the facts, right? So if you have a buyer like that or a seller, you'll be able to understand how to better work with them, right? So now moving along, we'll cover a little bit more. For high Ds, dominance, direct, results-oriented, they're firm, strong-willed, forceful. High Is, outgoing, enthusiastic, optimistic, high-spirited. High S's, even-tempered, accommodating, patient, humble, tactful. And high C's, analytical, reserved, precise, private, systematic, right? So we're going to jump into them individually now. So for high Ds, as I mentioned, some of the words that describe them: independent, efficient, authoritative. Some of their notable traits: self-motivated, they communicate clearly, they're task-orientated as well, and organized. And then we correlate that to align, right? So they love to compete and win, right? So they state opinions as facts, they're very direct. And if you have them as a customer, whether a client, as a buyer or seller, and you want to communicate with them, don't ramble on, don't waste their time, right? You want to get to the point, be clear and specific, come prepared with all your objectives and be well organized. Present the facts logically and plan your presentation efficiently. and provide alternative choices so that they can make decisions. And if you disagree, just focus on the facts, right? Not opinions. Some famous high Ds: Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Robert De Niro, Jack Nicklaus, Cher, as just some examples. So now high Is, as I mentioned, some of they're demonstrative, they're sociable, they're influential, they're charming. Some notable traits: they're persuasive, gregarious, they're problem solvers, right? And we correlate that to an otter, which they're motivated by social recognition, group activities, and building relationships, right? So they're open, they're friendly, they like to talk, right? And if you have a customer like that, the best way to communicate with them is to talk and ask them about their ideas, right? Plan interaction that supports their goals. Allow time to socialize. Like, this is probably the client that you want to take to Starbucks for coffee, right? I'll be honest, a high D will probably be like, I don't think so. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm just being honest, again, just to give you an idea, right, of the different personalities. Don't leave decisions in the air, provide ideas for implementing action. Someone online, Candace, she said she's a high D and C. That's great. We're going to do an assessment in a little bit for you guys, a free assessment, so you can kind of solidify what your high is, right? So that'd be pretty cool. Provide testimonials from people they see as important or prominent, and offer incentives for their willingness to take risks. Some high Is: Bill Clinton, Richard Pryor, Will Smith, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Martin, and so on and so forth, right? So for high S's, again, we talked about predictable, consistent, complacent, reliable, and we correlate that to a golden retriever, right? Which is motivated by cooperation, opportunities to help, sincere appreciation, right? And if you come across a high S, you don't rush head into the business or the agenda. Show sincere interest in them as people, right? Don't force them to make a quick response. Ask them specific questions. Don't interrupt them as they speak. Listen carefully, right? And then some famous high Is: we have Gandhi, we have Barbara Bush, Jimmy Carter, and others as well. And then finally, for high Cs, perfectionist, systematic, they're careful, they're analytical, right? They follow procedures, they're professional, they're disciplined, and they maintain high standards. We correlate that to a Beaver, right? Which is motivated by gaining knowledge, showing expertise, and quality of work. I don't know if you've ever seen a dam before that beavers have built. It looks like humans built it, right? Because of the way that the quality of work and the accuracy. So if you come across a high C, don't rush. Same as very similar to a C. Don't head on and straight into the business agenda. Show interest in them as people. Don't force them to make quick responses or decisions. Present your case logically, non-threatening, and in writing. Break some ice with some personal comments, right? And then ask specific questions. Don't interrupt them as they speak, and listen carefully. And then look for hurt feelings if the situation impacts them personally, right? And then some high Cs is Bill Gates, Albert Einstein, Kevin Costner, for some examples. And then so this chart here, which you guys have in your handout as well, just kind of gives you an idea of how these high Is, high S's, and high C's, how they will act in certain situations, right? So, for example, a high D, if it's fear of like not having control or having to completely trust others, right? That's an issue for them. So this chart just kind of gives you an idea. For example, let's look at under stress, right? So high I under stress, they become sarcastic and superficial. So just gives you an idea of certain situations and how the moods and behaviors will change for those high Ds, Is, S's, and C's. So I have Corrine, and she said she's a high S and a high D. And Anne-Marie said, that's me. But I don't know which one, but all of them probably. So I want you guys to take about 5 to 10 minutes now. There's a link on this page that you guys have in your handout. Actually, it should be maybe on the next page of your handout. This link here, https://www.123test.com/disc-personality-test. And once you get to that page, well, I'll wait for you guys to get to that page. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's in the book as well.
Oh,
Yeah, it's right there.
oh,
Yep,
thank
yep,
you.
yep, it's right there. Yep, cool. I'm sorry. phone? I was like, what? Gotcha. Yeah, it's a lot. Sorry. We gotta put like the QR code there or something. Yeah, so that's a good idea. I'll think about that. I'll let the broker know. See if we can put that in there. Yeah, so once you get to the link, guys, you'll scroll down the page a little bit and you're gonna come across boxes with thumbs up and thumbs down. So for each box, you wanna do one thumbs up, which is what's like you, and one thumbs down, which is not like you, right? And you're gonna do that for all the boxes going along. So we'll take about 10 minutes to do that. And then and then you'll get your results on the second page.
People to talk to.
For those online, it is okay if you have to leave the Zoom to go to the link to do the assessment and then just come back to the Zoom. It's totally fine. Thank you so much. And just a reminder, guys, as you're doing the assessment, for each box, it's one thumbs up and one thumbs down. Everyone doing okay so far? Okay, good. Great. Thank you, Bridget. Everyone okay? So on the second page, they're just asking some general information because it's a free assessment. They're just asking, they want to know who's taking their assessments. So they may ask you your occupation, things like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can put whatever in there. It's really just to get to the results. If you have completed and got to the results, you'll see a pie chart, and that pie chart will break down percentages of the disc, and it'll let you know where your high is. So Nini, if I'm saying that right, said she took the test a few years ago and she got the same exact result. So she's kind of shocked, which is shocking to some degree. But for the most part, I'll be honest, I took it about 10 years ago. I took it again yesterday, and it was pretty much the same. So it really depends on how you're answering the questions. We as individuals, we do change over time, and that's what can change your behavioral style, is how you answer the questions. So for those who finished online, if you want to share your results, please feel free. I'm going to start kind of talking about that in a minute or two. So Nini is a high D. I got Inga. She said she is a high I, and 41%, and then she's also 33% high D, which is also two highs. We got Antoinette. She's a high D, and also a high I. Dana is a high C, and yeah, and that's all we got so far. Anybody finishing here so far? Yeah, that want to share?
Yeah, mine was just
Okay, cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. And so all the traits, when we just went over all that information, it now gives you a sense of like, oh, okay. Is that what you thought, or?
I didn't think the dominance thing. To be
Okay.
honest, I thought it was more going to be just I, and maybe more steadiness, but it came third. So.
Okay, cool. What about you?
High C, high S.
High C, high S. Cool. Is it what you thought?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did, because I mean, the C and the S.
The analytical and all the perfectionist. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Anyone else completed that want to share? Yeah, sure.
I knew D, but I wasn't
Not sure about that. Okay, cool stuff. You learned something new?
Three kind of close together. So
wow.
That's my highest, very close to S, and then C was a little bit below S, and then D was pretty low.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. It doesn't matter how low. We all have, like I mentioned, we all have behavioral styles in the day.
Is it weird to have three really close together?
No, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't seen that, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, there is no right percentage breakdown, because at the end of the day, what this behavioral assessment is so that you can identify what your behavioral style is. Right. And then, as I mentioned before, once you guys know what your behavioral style is, you can now tweak that and maybe make some changes, right? Like maybe there's some things about yourself that you're like, wait a minute, maybe I need to like change a little bit on how I deal with my clients and how I work with my customers. Because at the end of the day, if you know your behavioral style, you can always change it and adjust it to your client style, which I know we do sort of naturally to some degree. But now that you know and you have much more detail about yourself and how you might act in certain situations, it's going to help you a lot more. So online, I have Bridget. She's a high D. I have Tashira. She says she's a high C. And I have Sandra as a high S. And if I'm saying your name right, Jonique, she's a high S and a high I. So very cool. Well, thank you guys again for taking the time to take that assessment test, because it should be able to help you move forward as a professional and as an individual. Now that you understand your behavioral style, you'll be able to adjust that and work with others with theirs. So let's talk about how the DISC behavioral styles affect individuals' buying decisions, right? Your clients' buying decisions, right? So the high Ds, they want the sales process to be quick, right? They want it to be independent. They want essential facts. They want to focus on the big picture, and they're risk takers, right? So high Is, they want the popular decision, right? They want people focused. They don't need a lot of product information. They're optimistic, feelings based, and they're impulsive, right? High S, they need to double check. They will consider people close to them, maybe ask their family members what they think. They'll look for sounding boards. They're cautious, slow, and they don't want to disappoint. And then high C, they need a lot of supporting information. They're going to avoid risks. They're going to make the right correct decisions. They're going to take it slow. They're going to follow the rules. They're going to focus on the facts and the details. And that's for clients when they're buying, right? So this is when you're working with buyers. And factors that motivate DISC styles, again, to buy is achievement status. For high D, achievement status, ease and speed, sense of victory, showing them to be risk takers, as mentioned before. High Is, popularity, feelings, emotions. They want to have fun. They want to be interactive, looking for recognition. High S's, security, safety, reliability, family, team impact. Fairness and justice, removal of uncertainty. And then high C's, again, they want a lot of supportive information to make the best decision. They want clear, logical facts. They want studies. They want tests. They want comps, right? They want expert endorsements, and they also want clear instructions, right? So now that we've covered the DISC portion, I'm just going to check here. Now that we've covered the DISC portion and you guys have a sense of your behavioral style and how you can work with your clients as well, we're going to start working on our business planning statement, right? Our mission statement. So you want to begin with your why. We did the big why, right? Remember early this morning, like, why am I doing this, right? I want to have my best year ever, why? So that's kind of where we're going to start. You're going to begin with your why. You're going to define your organization. And these are the 4 questions you're going to ask yourself. What do we do? How do we do it? Who do we do it for? And what value do we bring, right? So, just to this parody here, that's the mission statement. Hang in there, right? That's our mission statement. I was expecting more, right? Just a joke, right? So, but if you don't have a mission statement, that's kind of what your mission statement is. Like, oh yeah, I'll make some money this year, right? So you want to make sure that you define your value. So I asked yesterday 2 agents, I said, they said, what do you mean by what value do I bring? And I said, what value do you bring, right? Like, you guys are all agents, right? So if I'm a client, why should I hire Debbie over her? Or why should I hire you over Debbie? You both can help me buy a house, right? Everybody in here could help me buy a house. But why, as a client, should I work with you? What value are you going to bring to me, right? So that's really what you want to make sure you drive home during that mission statement. So best practices when creating a mission statement, we're not going to do it yet. I mean, if you guys want to start, you can, but just going to go over some information before you actually jump in. You want to write as much of your mission statement as possible. If it's a full paragraph, that's okay, because you can always narrow it down and reword it. Then get rid of any non-essential wordings and get it down to maybe a sentence, if that's what you want your mission statement to be. Some or 2 sentences. We'll cover some examples. And then ask these key questions to yourself. Is it memorable? Is it brandable? And does it excite you, right? So when someone says, oh, what does your company do, right? You're running a real estate business. You want to make sure that it's memorable, brandable, and something that excites you and others. So some great examples. I'll read this one. It is a mouthful, but I will read it. And it is good. We are truly passionate about our mission of building generational wealth through real estate. Rooted in our relationships are our core values of God, family, then business. We value visionary thinking, profitability, and hard work driven by a passion for success. Our goal is to forever change the real estate industry through superior talent, proven systems and models, revolutionary technology. We will be the #1 in these 5 categories: residential real estate, development and investments, mortgage, title, and insurance. We believe that integrity, teamwork, passion, accountability, and a learning mindset are the key tenets of real success. A mouthful. That was definitely a mouthful. I'm not expecting you guys to do that, but these are just examples, right? And then we have that, which is like 3 or 4 sentences, and we have this one here. To glorify God by putting our clients' interests above our own, providing the highest level of honesty and expertise. That's just as good. right? So some other examples, these are just short ones. We are committed to excellence and embracing change. We respect the thoughts and time of those around us. We are accountable and are accountable for our actions, right? And then we have some Fortune 500 company mission statements. Just to give you guys an example of like what a Fortune 500 is saying, right? So when we look at Disney, right? To make people happy. 4 words. That works, right? We look at Ford, people working together as lean global enterprise to make people's lives better through automotive and mobility leadership. We look at Amazon, our vision to be the Earth's most customer-centric company, to build a place where people can come and find and discover anything they might want to buy online, right? That was good. So, like, and then you look at Instagram, capture and share the world's moments, right? We look at Sony, to be a company that inspires and fulfills your curiosity. They're a technology company, right? So when you think about that, and then look at Tesla, right? They make electric cars to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. That says nothing about cars, right? So just keep in mind, these are Fortune 500s as an example. I do have some realtor examples as well. These are, I think they're more of taglines versus mission statements, but it's just to give you some more ideas. I'm not gonna read all of this, of course, but a couple I'll just throw out there. Let's see. Coming soon to a closing near you. We have, we will sell your house or we'll buy it. Where your dreams come true. Real estate for your world. Real estate is our life. Just to give you some, just general examples of just some real estate taglines that have been used over the years for you guys. So now that we've covered just some examples for you guys, I would love for you guys to take 5 to 10 minutes to now craft your mission statement, right? And just keep in mind, I'm going to go back for a moment just to cover these 4 questions is really what's going to help you drive that statement. So what do we do? How do we do it? Who do we do it for? And what value do you bring? Okay. If you guys want me to go back to any of the slides that had any of the examples, just let me know if you want to use them to kind of get some ideas flowing. Just let me know which slide you would like me to go back to. as you guys are working here in class, I'm gonna just throw out some mission statements from those online. We have about 40 attendees online. So could you please go back 2 slides? Oh, sorry. Let me see which 2 slides. Okay, turquoise, which 2 slides? You said go back 2 slides, so I'm assuming that would be this slide here. If that's not the slide, turquoise, please let me know. But I'm probably not going to pronounce your name properly. I apologize. I have Jamisola. Her mission statement is where real estate dreams are achieved. Very nice. I have Sandra to keep you informed and help you make good decisions. Very nice. Kayla, her mission is to live a purposeful life guided by a desire to please God, and is committed to nurturing strong bonds with family and friends, recognizing their importance in their journey through the pursuit of financial freedom. She wants to help them achieve a simple lifestyle and allows for prioritized meaningful connections and providing support to others in need. Very good. I have Jonique. She says to empower families with financial freedom and transform home dreams into reality through genuine relationships and exceptional experiences. Very cool. I have Tashira. She says serving you and real estate with integrity. I will take that. Bridget, as your trusted financial services professional, we assist families in building and protecting financial wealth. Very cool. Thank you guys online for sharing. Appreciate it. We'll give another minute or so for everyone else to finish up. Anyone finish up that want to share? Sure.
I don't know how good it's gonna sound coming out the first time we hear it out.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. We're only here to build a foundation, and then you can always reword it, tweak it, all that fun stuff after. So yeah, shoot.
My mission statement is to walk you through some of life's hardest decisions. My passion for that comes from having the faith that I can.
Nice. I will take that, definitely. Anyone else want to share? There's no right or wrong mission statement. It's about your business and what you can bring.
All right, mine is to provide the key to reach your real estate goals through knowledge, integrity, and experience.
Very nice. I like that. Anyone else? Sure.
To help our clients find their dream home.
Nice and sweet. Short and sweet. I'll take it too, as well. And you know, it's interesting. I taught this class, it was about a month ago. And there was a gentleman sitting here, and he said, "My goal is your goal." And I was just like, wow. I was like, that was good. I was like, I think I'm going to steal that one. But I thought it was good. So there's no right or wrong, and I appreciate you guys sharing as well. Let me just see if there's any others online. We have Grace. She said, build up your financial freedom. Corrine says to empower, motivate, and manifest. I like that. Grace says, living a good lifestyle. And yeah, that's all we got for online. So thank you guys for taking a few minutes and also for sharing your statements as well with us. So we're going to move along. And we're going to focus now on your target client, which is the next page over, right? So you will have more than one target client or more than one avatar, so to speak. But we'll focus today. We're going to focus on just one for today. And we want to come back and do a customer. What you want to do is want to come back after today and do a customer avatar for each customer avatar that you have. So what I mean by that, I think we talked about earlier, like who are you focusing on? Are you focusing on you know, first-time home buyers? You're focused on relocation, you're focused on military, relocate, you know, who are you working with, right? So let's get into that. Customer avatar is a detailed profile of your ideal customer. It doesn't make assumptions or categorize the people in those groups, but the avatar focuses on one person and outlines everything about them, right? So are they a buyer? Are they sellers, right? As I mentioned before, are they renters, right? Are they retirees? Are they investors? Are they relocation, first-time home buyers, probate, REO, which is bank-owned properties? Like, who is your customer? Who are you targeting, right? And then what's the location? What's the city? What's the county? What's the area? Is there a subdivision you're looking at, right? Where do they want to live if they're buyers? What's the age range, right? How old are they? How young are they? What's the income? Is there an income range? Is there a home price range, right? How much money do they make? How much house can they afford, right? And then what's the household makeup? Is it a young family? Is it a family that's, you know, moving up and having kids? Is it an LGBTQ family and a single individuals? And then what are their concerns, right? Like, what are their feelings and concerns about searching and purchasing or selling property? So what I would like you guys to do is take, again, a few minutes now, about 5 minutes or so, and draw up who your customer avatar is. We're just going to focus on one for today. So you have this chart here in the next page. And so what you want to do is at the top, you want to focus on that one customer avatar. So as I mentioned, is it, you know, sellers, buyers, first-time home buyers? And then you want to build the story. So where do they want to live? What is their age? What is their annual income? What is their household makeup? And what is their feelings and concerns about searching for and purchasing a home? For example, in answer to that last question on feelings and concerns could be interest rates, right? So could be interest rates, could be the answer, but then what's the strategy, right? Because you got to have a strategy for your clients, right? So if their concern is interest rates, then maybe you need to connect them with a lender who has down payment assistance programs, or talk about buying down points, right, for your buyer. Maybe that's a negotiation tactic when you're writing contracts, right? Or maybe you want to bring them to that new home development that's happening and the builder's guaranteeing 5% interest rate, right? So it just really depends, but you should have a strategy for each of those answers. So I'll give you guys about 5 to 10 minutes to work on that and let me know if you guys have any questions. And just to throw it out there, I have Bridget, she says her focus is seniors 55 plus. And Turquoise says her target avatar is single mothers. Very cool. Very cool. Before we, I wanted to stop you guys 1 second, just do a quick roundabout. Who's your target customer? Your initial, I know we all work with different customers, but who's your like initial target? Who do you specifically focus on? Buyers, sellers, first-time home buyers? First-time home buyers, first-time home buyers, sellers. I'm sorry? First-time home buyers. Cool. Awesome. And I'll be honest with you, first-time home buyers is not a bad place to be, considering the millennial and the Gen Z populations are going to be the largest home buying populations over the next like 5 years. So definitely an opportunity there. I have Kalia. She says her focus is sellers. Dana says hers is sellers looking for retirement homes. And she also, her focus is teachers. Sandra says relocation buyers. Jonique says first-time home buyers, Korean first-time home buyers, and motivated sellers. And then Jimmy Sola is buyers, mostly first-time home buyers. So thank you guys online for sharing as well. give everyone online a minute or so to finish up. Hey Candace, I just saw your question. You said, would I be providing suggestions for identifying concerns for purposes of marketing? I'm not exactly sure of your question. What exactly you mean by concerns for purposes of marketing? Can you clarify a little bit more? And just to wrap up, I had Grace said Atlanta area age 55 and up and prefer 55 and up communities, gated communities. And we have Antoinette. She says verify intergenerational investors looking to fulfill their real estate aspirations. So very cool. And we have Patty. She said she's looking for, her focus is empty nesters, 40 and up, 200,000 and up. I'm assuming that's income or homes. And then a family moving up and those looking for a forever home. Just one more minute and then we're gonna move on. Okay, we're gonna wrap up for this section. All right, great. So now that you guys have all identified your target clients, now it's time to actually target them, right? So we want to target them through social media. You want to target them through your sphere, right? Through your CRM database. You want to target them through text, through phone calls, through lead generation, and finally your elevator pitch, right? So with that being said, the next thing I would like you guys to work on and craft is your elevator pitch, unless you guys already have that down packed. All right, that's what I thought. We're here to get a foundational one down today, right? So on the next page, and I know there is a sort of a little bit of a typo there. There's like a box on that first one. Don't worry about it. Let's use the one below it. But the way it's set up, and you don't have to use this flow. It's only set up this way to help you, these 4 bullet points. And I'll give you guys an example. So I help first-time home buyers in Noonan, Georgia, to build generational wealth so their children can have real estate to inherit. I just made that up, right? So, I'm sorry. Oh, you want me to repeat it? I don't even know what I said. No, I'm just kidding. But I was just giving you an example. So that's why these 4 bullets are there. It's just to help you craft it. But if you don't need that, you don't have to use it. But it does make it very easy to kind of help get your point across about who you're working with, why you're doing it, where you're doing it, right? And what the ultimate goal is. So again, I'll try to repeat what I said. I help first-time home buyers in Noonan, Georgia to build generational wealth so their children can have real estate to inherit, right? So I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes to work on that. Okay, perfect, Candace, I'm glad. Awesome. So I'll give you guys about 5 minutes to work on that statement, and then I would like you guys to share what you come up with. I'd love to hear it. And for those of you online who may have finished your crafting your elevator speech, please feel free to upload. I'd love to share. I know some of you guys are still working, but I have Patty online. She says, I help empty nesters to find their forever home in a rural and small community in order for them to have the lifestyle and home of their dreams. Very nice, Candace. Thank you for sharing that, Patty. Thank you. That's very nice. Oh, you ready? Okay, cool. Sure, shoot.
But I help buyers and sellers with the real estate process, and almost all my deals, things have popped up. Start buying or selling a loan be stressful, so most people use agents to avoid the stress that it has.
Use you to avoid the stress.
But
but again, this is just building that foundation,
right.
You know, so that when you leave here, it's just you tweaking it, right? And making it your own and making it to that perfect statement that you want it to be, right? So, anyone else? Sure. Okay. Oh yeah, go ahead, yeah.
I help first-time home buyers in Metro Atlanta, Georgia, to find their first home affordable to them, so they can begin building wealth for the future and learn how to use it.
Very nice. Very cool. And you, sir? I know you said.
Okay. I have first-time home buyers in Newnan, Georgia, to obtain the American dream, so they can leave a legacy for their family.
Nice. I like that. I like that energy piece, the legacy. I have Antoinette online says, I collaborate with intergenerational investors in Georgia to help to maximize their real estate portfolios so they may manifest their real estate aspirations. Very cool. Kalila, I assist Atlanta home sellers in maximizing profits and understanding the property's value. My goal is to empower them to make informed decisions, enabling the purchase of a better home for an improved quality of life. And then I have Dana. I help teachers and retirees in DeKalb County to purchase a home or sale of their home who desire their forever home so they can either live in an area where they work or retire in the area of their dreams. I'll take that. Anne Marie says, I offer home buying seminars and invite first-time home buyers, walk through home buying process and help them get the down payment assistance and closing costs they need. Help them to realize that buying is better than renting. Home ownership builds wealth. Jonique says, I specialize in guiding first-time homebuyers in Fayette County to achieve financial freedom and build generational wealth through real estate investments. Very cool. Thank you guys for sharing. Anyone else in here want to share? Anyone else? Yes. No? Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna move on. So thank you guys again for sharing in crafting your elevator pitch, because and you know, again, today is just really just to build that just basic foundation. From here going forward, just want to make sure you guys continue to work. Remember, we said in the beginning, we rarely take time for ourselves to work on our business. When we finish this class, I'm hoping you guys will actually take some time out, even if it's an hour. Take some time out for yourself, even if it's a week from now or 2 weeks from now, to actually finish crafting your speech and finish finalizing who your avatars are and who you're really going to target. Because if you really want to have your best year ever, that's the only way it's going to happen, right? By you being hyper-focused on what you're doing and putting that energy specific for that. So, I didn't know if you. Good. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to put this in for him.
Okay. How do you
minimize.
do that with those online? Do we just let them know?
Yeah. So we're going to say.
Okay. So I have one more I just want to share. Corrine, she says, my focus is geared towards first-time home buyers, persuading that ownership is the way to go, and breaking down all the ways that buying is better than renting. So great. Thank you so much, Corrine. Good.
We're gonna take a quick break for lunch, but before you go get your lunch, wait just a second and listen to our sponsor, Brian Ferguson with Top Turf. He's gonna do a short presentation, and then we're gonna be back in 15, 20 minutes. 15, 20 minutes.
while you're doing that, can I keep going or no? Or are you just gonna change? 'Cause,
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
that.
take this down.
Okay, no problem. All right, cool. A great job so far, guys. See, not like paying for it. Great job to you guys online as well. Thank you guys so much for sharing as well. Great. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. I've never really thought about this, right? And I think Candace online, she was asking me about like the marketing, and she says, I think you're going in the right direction. And we will kind of cover some of the marketing pieces, but ultimately, your goal is not to market to the world, right? Like, and I mean that in the sense of you want to be an expert in a certain specific area of real estate. Like yesterday, I was teaching the same class, and someone said, well, I do everything. And I said, well, how much money did you make last year? Because you can't do everything, right? Like you can't help buyers, you can't help sellers, you can't do commercial real estate, you can't work with investors, you can't work with reloads. I mean, you can. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you literally can, but where is your expertise? Right? And then someone said, well, I want to do luxury homes. I said, have you ever done luxury homes? No. Well, your first step would be researching, right? And finding out what is it that makes luxury homes different than a $400,000 house, right? So someone said, oh, well, I just went under contract on a $900,000 house, and the countertops in the kitchen had to be different than the countertops in the bathroom. And the bathroom, each bathroom, the countertops were different. And then the flooring on the first floor was different than the flooring on the second floor, right? So there's lots of customization when it comes to luxury property. So it's like, did you know that? She's like, oh, I've never seen that before. Well, you might want to go to some open houses. You may want to collaborate with some luxury agents so you can become an expert, right? In that area. But as of now, you want to make sure that whatever your goal is, you're going to hyper focus on that. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Adrian, and thank you guys.
Brian.
Hello.
Come on down. You've got these lovely agents in person. And we've also got about 40 agents online listening.
40 agents online listening.
Yeah, so take it away.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. I am Brian. I'm with Top Turf, and this is Mr. Marshall. Good morning. Good morning. I am with the real estate and business development team, and Marshall does the commercial. We're here today to tell you that we are more than a lawn care company. Whenever you hear Top Turf, you think lawn care. You don't necessarily think the other side of our industry, what we can market to you. We have in-home pest control, we have termite protection, we have a mosquito reduction program, but most importantly for y'all, we have WDO letters, termite letters, and we have a damage or retreat warranty. So that's big for y'all. How many of y'all have had to have termite letters in the last couple months? Termite letters. Did it come with your home inspection, or did you have to call somebody to get it?
They have like a partner company.
Partner company. Okay, so we do that as well. We partner with a lot of home inspection companies, but you can call us directly, and we'll get you set up for the WDO letter. And I'll show you the features and benefits of the why I choose Top Turf. We are locally owned and operated, and started in the Atlanta area in 1993. It was started by two brothers in a shed, pretty much. There was no running water, really nothing in that shed, but they grew a large lawn company. And about 5 years ago, they ventured out into the pest control world. This is our special agent pricing. So I started with Top Turf just a few months ago. I got pulled over from a competitor, and I told them, I said, if I'm going to head up the real estate program, I have to have the most competitive rates. So I've been in the industry for about 10 years, and I know what our competition does. So I make sure we price better than them. So we're here for you. We do our termite treatment starting at $449. Damage retreat warranty. That's extremely aggressive pricing. Huge deal. Our termite letters are $50. A lot of our competitors are going up in price, and I pulled our prices down. $50 for a termite letter. The special agent pricing, you get $89 for your pest control. That's your special rate for that. You also get discounts for the mosquito reduction program. Do you have any questions for us? Do you want to go over that?
So we've got 5 branches in Georgia. We can handle the majority of the state. Is there anything specific in mind that you, Griffin? Now we're on the outskirts of Griffin, so it's somewhat centralized. If you have a specific need, then we can maybe talk through that. But Griffin is kind of on our outskirts.
But we are growing.
Carroll County. Carroll County.
Carroll?
Yeah, that's
Carroll?
west.
Sorry, like geographically.
It's west. We're like 20.
Okay.
You have Carroll County and then Harrelson before you get to Alabama.
Okay, I don't think we're
There yet.
Usually when it's unfamiliar, we're not.
Yeah.
At that point yet.
Where's Carroll County?
But
I was saying
maybe.
no.
Just like Ron said, we're growing.
We're
so
growing,
Hopefully
yeah.
we'll get to that
Awesome.
point.
I have a meeting Monday to grow so we're in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, the majority of Georgia. We're opening another location in South Carolina. So we are expanding, we're constantly growing. And with the real estate market, that's how we're going to continue to expand, especially in the hot Atlanta market, because this is a big one. So make sure you take down those numbers right there, because I can guarantee those are going to be some of the best numbers you are going to find.
So when I call and say I want y'all to come to my house, that's gonna help y'all come out to Carroll County.
That's
right?
exactly right. Well, see, that's exactly
Okay.
right. So whenever I keep pushing these things, I'm gonna turn the lead in, and the owner of the company sees those.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep hammering, like, we need to get out there. So far, the only 2 times I haven't been able to get to a house, and that was in Augusta and in, I think it was Savannah. I think it was 2 that I had issues with so far. But if you need help with a close, we'll do our best to get somebody out there. Any questions for me? I have questions for you. It's trivia time. How much?
50.
$50. That's exactly right.
Jeez,
But
on it.
you get one for free.
Oh.
Because you answered that question properly. That is, so
Okay.
you answered correct. Call me, tell me that I answered one of your trivia questions. You get a free termite letter. Okay? $50. The average cost of a termite letter in our industry is roughly $100. They go up to $275 now for a termite letter.
Crazy.
And a lot of people are turning you away because you're not a customer of theirs. So they'll say, no, we can't write you a letter unless you buy a bond from us. We don't do that. We are going to pitch a bond to you, but we'll get you your letter. We're not going to strong arm you. I put these questions on here because these are important points that I never talk about, just to give you heads up. So I put them on there. What is the cost of a service callback for our pest control? Free. Who said it? You? No, you said it. You get a free letter too. You get a free letter too. Free. Our services are 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If we have any issues in service, call us. We are here for you. We're going to fix those issues and get you taken care of, and we do not charge to come back and fix our issue. Here's a fun one. Termites cause an estimated $1 billion annually in damages each year. That would have been the answer before inflation.
Yeah.
But you get a free letter. So call me, you get a free letter. The answer is, well, it is 5, but it's actually 6 now. I didn't update this. The new number is actually $6 billion in termite letters. I mean, and termite damage. The reason I put that on there is because homeowners insurance does not cover the termite damage. So preventative maintenance, termite. You take care of your clients. A lot of people don't know that. They'll get damaged. Oh, I'll get my homeowner's insurance. Doesn't work that way. All right, last one. Where and when was Top Turf founded? Go for it.
Killing it.
I like you. She sits in the front of the classroom. She listens.
But in the shed in 1993.
In the Atlanta area. That's all we're going for. I just want to point out that we are locally owned and operated. The owners of the company, they literally have offices right next to mine.
Not in the shed anymore.
Not in the shed. We don't work in the shed. We grew. 1993, 2 brothers, Scott and Kevin Bryan. But since y'all been such an awesome crowd, not only did I bring y'all food, but y'all all get a free termite letter. Call me. Once I get the sign-in sheet, I'm gonna put all y'all's name on a list. If y'all need a termite letter, call me. The first one's completely for free.
Okay.
I want to earn y'all services. So give us a call. Do you have any questions for us before we head out? Anywhere from lawn, pest control, termite, anything.
Pest control, that's indoor and outdoor, or just outdoor?
So yes, it's indoor and outdoor, but after we do the first treatment inside and outside, we don't go back into the home unless you ask us to. Because after we put the barrier around, there is no sense. We changed that during the COVID time. There's no sense of having people in and out of your house if you're not having issues inside your home. So we treat around the outside, but satisfaction guaranteed. You said, hey, I'm seeing bugs in the house. We're going to come in and fix that. But we have set the standard to where once we put the protective barrier around the home, we try not to come back inside. It's easier for scheduling. It's easier just all the way around. Just not having people inside in and out of your house.
What is that $89 cover? Is that quarterly?
It's quarterly. Yes, it's quarterly pest control. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do for lawn care?
That's his question right there.
Yeah. So Brian is amazing on the pest and termite. We passed out 2 different cards. So if you have any questions with the lawn care, feel free to give me a call. So on the lawn care, we intake control and control. Lawn care is basically the chemical side of it. So it's fertilization, weed control, building the aesthetics of the lawn. Basically, it's a year-round, ongoing.
So it's not just insects, it's
Yep. So if you got, a new sodded lawn, everybody probably has questions of how much is the HOA? Those questions. We deal a lot with HOAs that they need it treated, and we offer that service. So it's maintaining and sustaining the turf overall. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Brian's the man for everything else.
So Brian, so do you guys,
all based on square footage.
with your pest control, do you guys do anything about snakes?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, just simply because there's nothing we could do that you can't do yourself. I don't like selling that service. Because I could say, yeah, you get a wildlife guy out there and they'll charge you a boatload of money. I don't like that. There's a product at Home Depot called Snake Away. Put it around the perimeter of your home. Do it like you would do pest control. Save yourself a mess ton of money doing it that way. The reason is because we cannot put any type of we're going to keep snakes out of your yard because it's a granular treatment and there's so much nature can get involved with that. I don't want to promise you you're not going to get snakes and then there's a snake in your yard. So get Snake Away. That's what I personally use at my house. They just built a new park behind my house, cut down all the trees. So I had a lot of snakes in my yard last year. Snake Away helped out a lot. Home Depot, Snake Away. Anything else for us? All right, I'm going to get a list of everybody who was here today. Everybody checked in. I'm going to put y'all on a list. If y'all need anything, y'all's first termite letters completely for free.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for lunch.
Absolutely.
Oh, during the break. All right, welcome back everybody online and welcome back everybody here in class. Hopefully you guys had a good break. Hopefully you got some good information from the sponsor, Top Turf as well. And we thank them for sponsoring lunch. So hopefully all you guys had some good grub. So we're gonna jump right back in because we have lots of work to do. Still more work to do. It's like, oh my God, Martin, why are you doing this to me? It's on.
Okay.
Oh, is it not on?
I don't know. They just said that.
Hang on. They said they can't hear. Yes, we are back. Can you guys hear me online? Yes. Oh, yes. All right, cool. Awesome. Great. All right, cool. So we're going to jump right back in. We had covered our target client. Now we're going to jump into our SWOT analysis, right? We're going to do a brief one. We're not going to do a full-fledged one, but really SWOT analysis is to help you in really 2 areas, your strengths and weaknesses to help achieve your objective, and your weaknesses and threats, which is harmful to you achieving your objective, right? So when we talk about the SWOT analysis, so for strengths, it's just knowing the areas in which you thrive and the positive traits that inhibit you as a real estate professional, and can guide you like the types of clients you represent, the homes you sell, the markets you focus on and you work in, and the sales and marketing activities that you are involved in, right, and implement. Weaknesses, understanding your limitations, right, and in the areas that you work in and which you can improve, and also as a must for making gradual strides in your work as an agent. Identify the facets of your business that you feel could be bettered, right, for the most, and focus on those to compensate. Opportunities, from pinpointing booming areas With new homes and job growth to finding the right brokerage to work for, right? It's vital to locate what opportunities you can take advantage of so you can grow your personal brand and also your portfolio of clients. And then threats, low demand, weak economic levels, influx of competing agents, working nearby, all common threats for real estate professionals face. But are far more you need to be wary of than growing your career and avoiding dreaded slow periods like recessions, right? There are some agents who thrive in recessions and they make six figures, right? So how can you tweak your business to falter that threat, right? So with that being said, I just want to kind of go back, and you guys have a small SWOT analysis in the next page. What I would like you guys to do, yes, another exercise, identify one strength, one threat, one weakness, and one opportunity to your business, right? Specifically. And I know you guys operate in different areas. So I'll give you an example. A strength could be just the time you've been an agent, right? Just throwing it out there. Like maybe you've been an agent for 5 years. That's a strength, right? An opportunity could be maybe a new upcoming area. Like we were just discussing a few towns that may be developing and growing. Like some people may call it gentrification, right? That's an opportunity. A weakness, we're here today. Let's get that business plan done, right? Let's get more strategic and be more specific about our focus and what we're doing with our business, right? A threat, maybe a new brokerage open across the street from where you work from, right? Or maybe there's just a lot of in agents in a specific area you work in, right? So it could be a variety of things, but I would like you guys to identify one strength, one weakness, one opportunity, one threat for your specific business, and I'd love you guys to share that after. And yes, I will get the phone number for Brian now. Give me 1 second. I will have them post it. So for those online, we did upload a snapshot of Top Turf's flyer and also their contact information as well. For those of you online who may have finished your SWOT, or at least one identifying a SWOT for each category, if you can feel free to upload your responses, that'd be great. Anyone finished so far? Want to share? Sure. Let's go for it.
I would say my strengths would be my closing rate. I have pretty good once I get them under contract and I actually get them to the closing table.
Nice. And that's for buyers, right? You're saying? I just want to make sure. Yep.
Buyers.
Yep.
Sorry.
No. I just want to make sure everyone understands.
The weakness for me, and I actually am working on this, is the ability to utilize social media.
Gotcha.
And efficiently, because I'll post a video and I'm trying to get more regular with it.
Yeah.
But I'm not treating it like I'm using it in my business yet. Like I'm integrating it as much. And so that's what I'm trying to push more towards.
Nice.
The opportunities, honestly, I would say, and everyone, continuing education, stuff like this, anytime you can get in there and learn a little bit of something, even if it's something I could just take away like one thing,
yeah.
I feel like it was always a good thing that I showed up.
Definitely.
I would say the biggest threat, not just for me, but for most agents, is time blocking. Is when you have that structure, it is nice. If you don't make those times to go on those vacations and take those meaningful time away, you're going to almost work around the clock and avoid it. And you're going to kind of be swamped in all your work without being as efficient.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing. And I want to take the time blocking one more step. Okay. Not just for vacations, but time blocking for your daily activities. because that's a big, big deal. Like, we don't do it. We're like, oh yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna call 10 buyers. Well, if you don't block your calendar, you ain't gonna call those 10 buyers. Because you're like, oh, I gotta run to my daughter's school. And then I gotta go over here. And then I gotta do this. And the next thing you're like, it's 3 o'clock already? Oh, I gotta start cooking dinner soon. And you're just making more excuses for yourself, so you won't call those 10 buyers. But that was awesome, pointers that you pointed out for yourself, so for your business. Thank you for sharing. Sure.
My strengths are I'm loud and outgoing. Weaknesses is I need to focus more. Opportunities is since I live in Griffin, I'm around a lot of growth and opportunities.
Yep. Take advantage.
The threat is a lot of agents in my area, but none of them are me, so I need to.
Oh, there you go. I like that. She combined it with an opportunity and a threat. She put it together. So you provided a solution for that threat. That's taking it a step further. I appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else? I have one online. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
So my strength is my number of years in the business.
Nice.
How that varies. Also being detail oriented, and I'm an educator. Like, I really like for my buyers and sellers to feel like they know what they're doing. Like, what's the next step? What comes after this? What comes after this? My weakness is being I am brand new to this area.
Oh, okay.
To Douglasville.
Gotcha.
Where to meet people, how to meet people, that sort of thing.
Cool.
My opportunity, one of the ways I'm doing that is I've joined a couple of local Facebook groups.
Cool.
But they are full of agents as soon as anybody.
Right. Yeah.
So my opportunity there is providing value online. Instead of just like, oh, let me bring my link. I ask people, hey, what's got you thinking about trying, nice. Right now? And I'll see any of the other agents doing that.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, you pick me. And I'm like, no, let me get to know you.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is.
And the threat is just, for me, like, not being familiar at all with that area. Like, somebody asked me, like, well, there's blah, 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 good school. I'm like, oh, where's that?
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely. Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was waiting for that to finish. Yeah. I mean, we typically not allowed to really get into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, we'll tell the buyers they have to do their due diligence, of course, on the schools and the crime in the area and all that fun stuff. 1 second. But I think your opportunity was great, but I think you also have an opportunity in your opportunity, in the sense of you could maybe join the local chamber, right? You can look at what meetups are happening in the neighborhood, in the county, in Douglasville itself. Like, I think it's called Meetup. It's an app or whatever, and people meet up for different things to talk about different things. They'll meet at Starbucks or different places, even at the bar, and just to network, right? And I'm just saying, you just have a lot of opportunity just to get to know everybody. Go to the library, see what events they're having at the library. The library maybe even be open to you sponsoring a home buyer seminar. Oh. So yeah, so you have a lot of opportunity there. Yeah, you got a lot of opportunity there. So some online. So I have Bridget. Her strength is community engagement, financial services. Her weakness is time blocking. Her opportunity is network, sphere of influence, and a threat, she says, is nothing. Okay, I'll take it. But we all have threats, definitely. But I will take that. I appreciate your confidence. Patty, she says she's 10 years into business as a realtor. Her opportunity is to expand more land and farm. Her weakness is more marketing and better time management, and threat is competition with other realtors. Very cool. Thank you. Candace, 16 years in real estate. Weakness is not prospecting. Opportunity is possible expansion of her brokerage, and threat is procrastination. Ooh, I like that one. The fact that you're calling yourself out on that one, I appreciate that. So thank you for that. Because, I did say earlier in the beginning, like, us as agents, there's no one that's going to be pushing us and motivating us, right? And we procrastinate a lot. So we really do need to self-motivate ourselves. So at least if you know that you do procrastinate, you can come up with a solution to help solve that, right? I got Corrine. She says her strength is not giving up. I love it. Her weakness is planning. Opportunity is being a maximum one realty agent. Very cool. Thank you for that plug. And a threat, she says, is AI. Ooh, possible. It's possible. Definitely. All right, cool. So thank you guys for sharing. So unless anyone else in class wants to share, I'm gonna move along and thank you guys. So keep in mind, I only asked you guys to do one, but for SWOT analysis, usually you're doing up to 5. So after this class, if there, if you want to work on this, it's really, because what it does, it helps you think outside the box, and then also brings up opportunities like we just discussed, where you can come up with solutions to give yourself more opportunity to get more business and get more clients. So it's really a good thing to continue expanding upon this. So thank you guys for that. And we're going to move along to sources of business is the next page. And we're not going to do anything on this page, but I just want to kind of speak to it. Really, this is kind of giving just a sense of your real estate closings come from a variety of sources, of course, from last year. The question is, like, do you know where those sources came from, right? Without pulling all of your closings. Do you notice any patterns? Do you have any significant number of closings that come from one or maybe another place? So if you haven't been tracking, the reason I just want to talk about this slide, if you haven't been tracking, I would suggest you start tracking. And it's not just your closings, all of your activities. So everything you do on a daily basis, I would track weekly, even daily. It's up to you guys how minuscule you want to be to really kind of hold yourself accountable. But at the end of the day, when you're getting clients, you want to know where they're coming from, because that's where you want to focus your efforts, right? It's very similar when we talk about who's your target client, right? And you know who your target client is. The question is, where are you getting them from? Because remember we said before, you can't just do everything and get them from everywhere. I mean, you can, but are you gonna make a lot of money? Because you're just throwing everything against the wall and seeing what's sticking, right? Instead of focusing and saying, I know I get all my buyers from cold calling, right? Or I know I get all my buyers from social media because I do these Instagram posts every week and I always get people interested and asking me questions and they want to buy and they want to move and relocate, right? So we have referrals, repeat customers, farming. And for those who are maximum 1 agents for farming, we actually offer Vulcan 7, which is for free. But there are other farming tools as well, but you should look into that if you don't have a farming tool. So basically what it does is you can hyper focus on a neighborhood or a specific area, and it'll give you all the phone numbers for all the owners of those properties so that you can reach out to them and see if they might want to sell, right? Open houses, right? I know agents that do open houses every other week just to get buyers, and it's not their properties that they're listed. You can ask any other agent, hey, I know you have a listing. Do you mind if I do an open house for you? Are you going to say no if your house hasn't sold? She's not going to tell me no. I'm like, hey, can I do an open house? You're probably been on the market for about a month. It probably been on the market for about a month. Would you mind if I do an open house for you? You'd be like, go right ahead. I'll just make sure my seller's okay with it, right? Because your seller wants to sell the house. And do you want to do another one? Because you did an open house when you first put it on market. You don't want to do another one, right? So you guys, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? Just ask another agent, network with other agents. Relocation, asset manager, for sale by owner, right? Those are you guys who drive around town looking for those for sale by owner signs and calling those for sale by owners. Expired listings every day, logging into MLS, checking the expired listings, see what's going on in them, right? See what's new to the market and see what's expired. Flyers, mailers, floor calls, events, seminars, like we talked about, home buyer seminar, right? Networking, community groups, cold calls, warm calls, door knocking, which we don't do much of since the pandemic, since pre-COVID or post-COVID, I haven't seen much of that, but you have social media, online reviews, could be Google. Make sure you guys have your Google account set up, right? So you can get your Google reviews. Personal websites, Trulia, Realtor, and so on and so forth. So the point of this is just so you should be mapping where you're getting your customers from, because then you can double down or triple down your efforts in those areas so you can get more customers, okay? Any questions? Any questions online? No, okay, cool. So we're gonna jump into these questions. We're not gonna fill these questions out. I want to keep moving on because I do want to get you guys to the actual business planning portion, which is coming up soon. So if you didn't, I'm going to ask you guys this question. If you didn't reach your production goal last year, what prevented you from doing so? So I know all you guys had goals last year. Can you raise your hand if you met that goal? So what prevented you from doing so? I'm sorry.
I moved from Kentucky to here.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So yeah. Yeah. So there you go. So that's okay, right? But it's good to know that, right? Like that's why you didn't hit your goal, right? So why didn't you hit your goal last year?
Well, actually, I exceeded my goal
Oh,
because
see,
I
you didn't
wasn't
raise your
supposed to
hand.
even be working last year.
Well, congratulations.
So the few seeds that I had planted before my mom got really sick, they kind of, God had a plan. He's like, you're coming to work this year.
Well, congratulations.
So this is my first real year as a real estate agent.
Okay. Cool. Well, we're going to set your goals today for this year.
Yes.
Right. So, all right, cool.
That's true.
What prevented you last year from not hitting your goal?
I wasn't in the industry. I actually just coming back.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're on hiatus and then you're just jumping back in. Okay. All right, cool. I'll take it. I'll see if they have anything online. Sharon says she met her goal, but it was very close and she wants to do better. So good for you. Congratulations. Sandra said she doubled her goal. Ooh, and hopefully she can keep the same. Wow, congratulations, Sandra. I hope you kick butt this year too, right? Let's keep it going. So awesome, guys. So the only thing to that is I will say, if you doubled your goal, just going back for a second, not to go back too far, just identify, Sandra, where all your clients came from. Because if you know where all your clients came from and you doubled your goal, you could probably quadruple your goal this year if you know where all your clients came from, because that's where you're going to double down on your efforts. So great job. What specific activity had the most impact on your business last year? I'll take any takers. We had a whole list. What had a specific, yes.
Well, for me, networking and going to classes, because I met a lot of agents and connections.
Nice, nice. Anyone else? What had the most impact?
Interest rates a little bit, I would say, when they could adjust.
Okay.
I would agree with her and say networking and not being afraid to strike up the topic.
Yeah, conversation, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'll be honest with you guys. I go to a supermarket, I go to Starbucks, I go everywhere, wherever I go. Someone's always saying something, right? Like, so the person behind, oh, the cashier is so slow, right? Or someone says, oh my God, I can't believe how busy in here it is, right? There's always someone saying something behind you or in front of you. And I'm the one that will turn around and be like, yeah, this line is moving so slow. And then I'll just have that conversation. And then at the end, of course, I'm whipping out my car, right? And I'm like, hey, if you know anyone who wants to buy, sell, rent, invest, I'm your guy, right? So you're definitely hitting the nail on the head on that one. So if you could only select one lead generation activity, and Sandra says social media and social life as well. Sorry for this most positive impact. If you could only select one lead generation activity from last year and repeat it this year, what would it be? I'll go back to the list.
Social media.
Social media, awesome. Well, that is a big one. If you're not in social media, guys, make sure that's one part of your business plan going forward. Because I know agents, that's all they do. When I mean that's all they do, what I mean is all their sellers and all their buyers come straight to them from social media. They don't do any cold calls. They don't do warm calls. They just do videos. They post videos.
That's my goal.
And that's all they do. So social media is gonna really take off in regards to finding new clients and working with new customers. Yes.
You know that have social media as their main lead source. How long did it take for them to build that up where they were getting inbound leads?
I would say the one agent that I do know of, she's been doing it for about a year. So yeah, it does take time, but ultimately, she shares the story of me. She had a listing and she did an Instagram video of it. I think it was like 30-second Instagram video. She just walked around the house, walked inside the house, and oh my God, look at this new listing. The house is so beautiful, the granite countertops, that kind of thing. And someone from California direct messaged her and said, I want that house.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like social media is that powerful. So if you're not doing it, if it's not part of your marketing plan, make sure it is this year. So cool. And online, we got Dana says referrals. Thank you, Dana. And Bridget says connecting with other business professionals as well. So great. And then what do you need to do to stay on track? I think we kind of said some of that. Someone was like, yeah, you need to come to CE classes.
That's your schedule.
Well, why are we here today?
Set our goals, learn.
Set your goals. You got to have a plan. If you're going to stay on track, if you don't have a plan, you're already off track, right? Because you're just doing it by the fly of your seat, right? You're just winging it, so to speak.
We're hanging in there.
Yeah. So, you got to have a plan. If you want to stay on track, you got to have a plan and have goals, right? So what I will say is there is a few more questions in your handout, as well as probably about another 10 questions. I'm not going to go through them because I want you guys, of course, in your own time to go through them and answer them for yourself and your business. But what I want to do is I want to keep moving along and get you guys towards the business planning portion of it. So I'm on the average sales price and average earned commission section. I'm not going to ask you guys to complete this in class, but I do want to cover it with you guys just so you guys can work on your own, but have a sense of what it is. So I'm going to give you an example. So your average sales price, well, before I even jump in there, does anyone here know their average sales price and their average earned commission? Yes.
Where I'm at, it's 240,000. And then the commission, just for them talking about 3%.
Okay, cool. Very good. Awesome. So if you guys haven't done this already, or if you don't have transactions from last year and you're just working on this year, that's okay. Because you'll still have a goal of what you want to meet. Maybe, maybe it's monetary, or maybe it's, okay, I want to have 10 closings this year, right? So you'll know what that is. But just to give you guys an example, number of closed transactions, let's say I had 10 last year. The total price of all the properties that I sold was $1 million. I'm just going to keep it clean. So 10 transactions, $1 million. That means my average sales price was $100,000, right? So of course, that was just to give you guys an example. But as you do that, what it does is it gives you a price range, an average price range of the home that you've sold, right? So if you sold 10 houses and the average price is $350,000, that's your target market. Right? Not saying you can't help someone buy an $800,000 house. You can, but you really want to know, what is your true target market? Because you want to be an expert in that area. So you really want to know what your average sales price is. And then, of course, you want to know what your average earned commission is, because at the end of the day, that's going to correlate to your goals, right? So if my total commission, let's say I made 100, I'm making this up again. I made $100,000 last year. And I had, you can either, let's say I had 10 listings, that's how I did that up there, or I had 5 listings and 5 sales. So knowing also what the breakdown is. Did you work with just sellers? Did you work with just buyers? Was it a combination? Was one higher than the other? Was it 7 buyers and 3 sellers? So that you have a sense of what you're going to do and where your focus should be, right? But I made $100,000, I had 10 closings, right? And then my average commission would have been $10,000 per closing because I had 10 closings, right? So now that I know that my average earned commission is 10 grand, I know I want to make 250 this year, 250,000. So how many closings do I need? Yes, I need 25 closings. So there's my goal. There it is. I know how much money I need to make. I know what each closing cost is gonna earn me in compensation. Now I know what my goal is. Right? So I just wanted to cover that with you guys. If you guys obviously can do this, of course, after class. And of course, I just want to touch base on Mr. Putin here, who I know we don't love, but his reaction when you're asked to cut your commission, of course, right? But at the same time, I do want to say, because it came up yesterday, there is no standard in commissions charged, right? I just want to be honest with that. So you can charge 1% for your services, or you could charge 10% for your services. So there is no standard. And then also, just throwing that out there, speaking of standards and commission, when you're working with buyers, I'm just throwing it out there just from fair housing perspective. When you're working with sellers, you have some variation there, but with buyers, you have to treat all your buyers the same. Otherwise, it could be a fair housing violation. So for example, if I charge buyers 2.5% for my services, I have to charge every single buyer 2.5% for my services. Otherwise, it's a fair housing violation or discrimination. It could be, imposed as discrimination, right? Because you gave one buyer one price, you give another buyer another price, and then it can get worse, right? Because then they can say, well, that buyer was Caucasian and this buyer was Indian. Now you have a problem, right? Of descent. So just be careful, guys, with that as well. But moving along, again, this is just coming from that sheet and then just getting to your goals. But we're not going to work on this specific sheet. We're going to skip this. You guys can work on that as well on your own. But I want to cover this slide here. Let's just check here on these 6 transactions. Top teams average weekly goals. So this is per team member. So this is just to give you a sense, and you don't have to cold call, but this is just to give you a sense of how the breakdown of the outreach goes. So one team member, this is just really one agent, doing 200 dials a week, 40 conversations a week, 4 appointments a week, 1 closed deal a week, right? So that's what it takes to get to 1 closed deal. You don't have to do this in a week. This could be in a month, right? I'll be happy with 1 closing a month, but that's just me, right? Everyone's different, right? If I'm making 10 grand per closing and I do 1 a month, I may not hit my 250, but I'll still be 6 figures, right? So this just gives you an idea of what it takes to actually get a closed deal if you're doing outreach via lead generation over the phone. Okay, so 200 calls equates to 40 conversations, which equates to 4 appointments, which equates to 1 closed deal a week. Okay, no worries. That pizza was good, man. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, cool. So right now I want you guys to determine your main goal, right? So I said my goal was I want to close 25 transactions, but that's because I know I'm going to make 10 grand per transaction on average, right? So you want to start by establishing a specific measurable goal for your annual real estate sales production this year. Typically, you guys use sales volume, you can use GCI, you can use number of units. I'm going to ask you guys if you can just use either number of transactions or how much money you want to make, because it just keeps it a little bit more simple. And so with that 1 goal, I would like you guys to right now in your books, you have what we call a 1-3-5, which is the business plan. And the 1, which is the top, is your main business goal. So I tell you guys, I want to make $250,000 this year, right? So how many transactions am I going to close? 25, right? So what is that going to be for you guys this year? And keep in mind, we have 10 months left. Not saying you guys won't close anything this month, but we're looking at March going forward. So if you guys can take the time to either do a monetary or the amount of transactions, and then we'll jump to the next step as well. And let me know if you have any questions online as well. I want to say that Grace already has her goal. She put it before I even started. She said at least 6 transactions per year, $500,000 to $1 million in volume. So very cool. I'm sorry. Well, not really. I mean, 6 houses, 500 to $1 million. Even if you want the million, 6 houses, you're talking about 200,000 each house. That's not bad at all. That's pretty. It's below average, like the average sales cost of a house in America. I think we're at 3 something, but yeah. I have Jonique. She says she wants to close 10 transactions in 2024, 8 with buyers and 2 with sellers. Nice. I have Inga. She says she wants to do 5 this year with $1 million in volume. So that's about 200,000 per home. And Jimmy Sola, she says she wants to do 3 transactions per month. So that equates, we have 10 months left. That'll put you at about 30 transactions for the year. Pretty aggressive, but I don't know what your pipeline looks like, but I'm sure it's looking good if you're pushing for 30. So thank you for sharing. Sandra says she wants to do 20. Yes. Yes,
I was gonna say this, one of the things too is like when I try to hit my goal, like I like to do 2 transactions a month.
Yep.
But a lot of times it's gonna take 3 or 4 transactions to be under contract to even realistically hit that goal, because we all know that those fall off as they come and go.
Totally. Not only fall off, they get pushed, right? The lender's not ready. So you thought you were going to close in February, but now you're going to close in March.
Right.
Right. So yes, totally. Without a doubt. Thank you for sharing that. I have Patty. She says she wants to close 12 transactions. I'll take it. That's 1 a month. I will definitely take that. Candace says her goal is 24. Like yours, she says 2 a month. Says she wants to do 2 a month. I have Sandra. Okay, she said 20, but she's now added 150,000, I believe, per transaction. Or is that Sandra? Is that how much money you're looking to make with the 20 closings, or is that your volume per house, per home? Oh, she said per year. That's what she wants to make for the year, 150,000. Thank you. All right, awesome. So I know you guys got that down. It's been a couple of minutes, and you guys should have had that in your mind on the drive here. So what is your goals? How much, what do you want to do this year? How much money you want to make, or how many transactions you want to close?
I haven't closed 1 transaction. I'm new.
That's okay. So maybe your goal is 1.
Well,
maybe it's 2. Maybe it's 3.
I'm working on 1.
Okay. Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, but
your first one.
Awesome.
It's not anything solid. It's still.
Is it under contract?
No.
Okay.
It's some property.
But it's a listing, you're saying, right?
No,
or,
it's not a listing.
But you're gonna make it on.
Yes.
So there you go. So it'll be hopefully it'll be under contract.
Still in legal process.
Oh, I got so it's like probate or something going on. Gotcha.
So
okay.
That's it's a process.
Okay, cool. So what is your goal?
I'm hoping to do at least 5.
Okay, I'll take it.
1 will help me to build my company.
Yeah, 1 will give you the motivation you need, especially when you get that compensation check.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Definitely, because running a business is an investment, right? It costs money to run a business. So without a doubt. So what's your goal, Debbie?
I want to do 10 transactions.
10? I will take that.
No.
I will take it. What about you?
Mine was 5 too.
5? Okay, 5 is good. I will take that.
9.
You getting back in? Getting back in on 9. I will take it. What about you guys in the back?
I'm business 20.
I'm sorry?
20.
20? 20 is good.
10 for me.
Okay, awesome. And what about you?
I'd like to aim for 2 a month.
2 a month, 24. We got 10 months left, so 20. Okay, I'll take it. All right, awesome. Let me see if anyone online still. We have Lorena says she wants to make $200,000. Candace says her average commission is 10,000. Very cool. Kareen says she wants a minimum of 12 this year. Well, awesome. Thank you guys for getting that main goal done. So now the next step is to work on 3 priorities that's going to help you reach that goal, right? So for the real estate business plan to be effective, you must be focused, have 3 priority areas that you need attention on to follow up this year on. These priorities represent some of the more daunting tasks, the things you don't want to do, right? That will require a lot of work and help from others. These priorities are big tasks, but they're always looming in the back of your mind because you need to get them done, right? So I'm going to give you an example. You guys do have examples in your book, which is what I'm showing you up here as well. It's just piecemealed out, but you do have the full 1, 3, 5. But for example, I want to close 25 transactions. What's the 3 priorities that's going to help me get those 25 closings? First, I'm going to build and utilize my database. I got 200 people in my CRM. I don't even use it. So now I'm going to start doing drip campaigns. I'm going to start calling every week, maybe every day, right? And sending out postcards from my database. And I'm going to really ramp up that interaction with my sphere, right? And I'm also going to start adding people. So when I meet, Susie Q at the supermarket while I'm waiting to pay for my pork chops, I'm going to make sure I add her in my phone, on my app, my CRM app, and I'm going to put her in there as well, right? Even though she told me she's not ready to buy until the fall, which is like 8 months from now. That's okay. I'm going to set her up on a drip campaign and give myself a task to call her in 4 months, right? So social media. I haven't been doing any videos on social media. So I need to get my Instagram up. I need to get my Facebook business page going. I need to get my Twitter account set up, right? I need my Snapchat set up. I got to get all my social media set up and my internet presence and make sure I got my Google reviews ready, right? That's set up. I'm going to have all that set up and I'm going to focus on that, right? So these are the priorities. Then my 3rd priority is going to be open houses, So I want to do at least 1 a month. Right. And as I mentioned, they don't have to be your open houses. It doesn't have to be your house for sale. Just ask any listing agent that has a property on the market for more than a month. They're going to say yes because they want the house to sell. And you're pretty much doing it because you want the buyers. right? Yes.
Can you do an open house outside of your brokerage, or is that not allowed?
You can, you just gotta get permission from your broker. I mean, if that's their policy,
Mhm.
yeah, without a doubt. You can do open house for any agent, just as if you can show a house. You can do an open house, right? It's just as long as your broker's okay with it. Yeah. Let me just check online. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So I want to give you guys a few minutes to work on your 3 priorities. What are your 3 priorities that's going to help you meet your goal? So what's going to help you hit your 20? How are you going to hit your 20? How are you going to hit your 10 or 12?
10.
10, right?
Yeah.
And how are you going to hit your 9? What are you going to do? What are the 3 things you're going to do that's going to help you hit your 9? And how are you going to get your 24? Right?
Definitely got to use my database and start calling.
Yep, that's without a
Calling
doubt.
is.
Without a doubt. Yep. Well, you saw, I did the breakdown, right? 200 phone calls gives you 40 conversations. 200 phone calls gives you 4 appointments. Right? Yeah. And it sounds daunting, but let me break it down this way. 200 phone calls, right? You work 5 days a week, let's just say. Your work schedule is Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. You work 20 days a month. You make 10 calls a day. And you will have 1 closing a month. Now you break it down like that, you're like, 10 phone calls. I could do that with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
Then you could probably do 400 in a month. Right? You could do 20 calls a day. That's not too daunting. So it's just a matter of, you know, how you want to do that, but it's definitely accomplishable. It's definitely something you can accomplish. All right, guys, let me not distract you to get your 3 goals down unless you guys got it. All right, cool. For those of you who finished your 3 priorities online, if you want to share them, that'd be great. I got Dana, she says social media, talking to her parents and going to sporting events. Very cool. Very, very cool. So I'm gonna jump to the next slide, but I'll ask you guys as well what your 3 priorities are. If you want to share, that'd be great. Anybody?
Social media, going to networking functions, and build and utilize
Your database. Awesome. Awesome. Great stuff. Sure. Sam? Very similar.
Implement the CRM, because I haven't, I just haven't.
Oh, you haven't got it going. Gotcha. So it's not implementing it, it's setting it up. Just set it up and you're good to go. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Social media, and then hosting seminars so I can meet people and generate my own leads.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. Awesome. Thank you.
So mine's kind of the same as a lot of theirs. I like the social media and then the CRM kind of utilizing that. But as far as like that networking events, I'd like to go to different networking events than what I'm used to. And what I mean by that is a lot of my networking would just be like maybe meeting realtors here or doing seminars and things. But I like a lot of the networking that, well, one of the reasons I switched over to the brokerage I'm at now is they're really out in the public. So they're out there with their tent and stuff like that.
Oh,
with
cool.
dogwood festivals and stuff like that. And so you're, you know, when you're out and about more and you're kind of in touch with the community, I feel like that kind of gives you a different
Definitely
advantage as well.
It does, without a doubt. I totally agree. Our brokers, we do actually like the Geranium Festival in Henry County and other stuff. Yeah, so we have tents. We rent. We pay for a space. We have games and music and gift handouts for kids and stuff like that. So yeah, it makes a big difference. Having a brokerage that really puts their foot down as being part of the community. So awesome.
People know I'm a realtor. When I first got started, I was all excited, but it's like I think I need to remind people at church and at my children's schools and everywhere that I go, like, hey, I sit home.
Yeah. Don't be that secret agent. Don't be that secret agent, guys. Don't be the secret agent. And then you get mad when someone's so happy that and they're like, I just bought a house, and you're like, you didn't call me. You're ready to strangle them, right? Don't be a secret agent, guys. Set your friends up in your database. Put them on drip campaigns so they don't forget, right? So, so for those online, I have calling referrals, doing more videos, and doing postcard mailings. I'll take it. I have social media, working on their sphere of influence, and doing market campaigns. I will take that as well. I have, Corrine says, mindset, social media, and execution. We'll take that. Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. So with that being said, now we're going to jump to our 5 strategies, right? So you guys said these are the 3 priorities. Now you have to break those priorities down into actual tasks, right? So we're going to break them into 5 bite-sized pieces, specific tasks that correspond to that priority, and put the puzzle together, right? Which those 5 strategies become your KPIs. KPIs, key performance indicators. You need to hold yourself accountable to this monthly. Yes, you need to hold yourself accountable. You need to check in with yourself monthly and say, did I do these things, right? So for me, this is my plan, right? I want 25 transactions. I'm going to build and utilize my database, social media and internet presence, open houses, right? This is how I'm going to do it. My database, I'm going to add 5 people a day. I'm going to call 2 past and 5 active clients. I'm going to send out 2 handwritten notes. I'm going to do 10 text messages. I'm going to send out 5 personal email messages. For social media, I'm going to do 1 video a day. I'm going to do 5 Facebook posts, personal, and 2 business. I'm going to do 4 Instagram posts. I'm going to do 2 LinkedIn posts, right? And I'm going to do my 10-10-10 twice a day. Schedule for open houses. I'm going to do 1 a week, right? And you're probably like, 1 a week? Yeah, that's realistic. Just call the listing agents that properties have been on the market for a long time, more than 30 days. Why would they not? Why would they say no? They want to sell the property, but they don't want to do 2, 3, 4 open houses, but they'll let you do it, right? Promote on Facebook, Eventbrite, social, easy text, slide broadcast to the neighborhood, list of comps with marketing material to hand out, right, to your customers, or to mail them out, to farm. Call each attendee and add them to my database from all my open houses, right? So these are my KPIs. These are the things on a weekly basis. When I hit Friday, or maybe Saturday, whatever your work week is, Friday, I can say, did I do these things? These are my KPIs. I have to check these boxes because you need to hold yourself accountable to these things. No one else is going to do it, right? Did I add 5 days I worked this week? Did I add 25 people to my database? Right? Did I send out 10 handwritten notes? You know, did I send out 100 text messages? Right? These are your KPIs. This could be daily. You can make it daily. Did you do these things? And time block your schedule to do them. Right? So I'll give you guys 5 to 10 minutes to work on your 5 strategies for each priority. And then I'd love you guys to share after as well. It's an old school way of marketing. It's like, I'm going to do 10 phone calls, I'm going to send 10 text messages, I'm going to do 10 emails. Yeah, it's like 10 or 10 touches, or, but you know, everyone kind of does something. It's just an example. Yeah. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing okay? Awesome. And the goal, just keep in mind, guys, I would love it if everyone could have their one goal, the 3 priorities, and all 5 strategies under every single one. But, you know, of course, we're limited with time today. So I don't expect you to have all 5 for every category. Even if you have 2 or 3, that gives you some KPIs to work from. Like if you did 3 or 2 each one, that's almost 10 KPIs you can hold yourself accountable for every Friday and say, did I do these 10 things? So any little bit is going to help you be able to push your business forward and make more money. Just check the chat. So Anne-Marie says, I'm so glad I'm taking this class. It helped me realize I have a lot of work to do. Definitely the first thing I need to do is set up my database, then my social media, and then start doing open houses. You go, girl. Good stuff. Good stuff. And then Corrine says her strategies for each priority will be the same across the board, which would be time, focus, execution, and patience. Okay. The only thing I would say to that, I think that's great. The question is, how can you hold yourself accountable to that, right? So I would try to figure out timing, focus, execution, patience, trying to, I guess, connect it to something you can hold yourself accountable for. So for example, if your execution is going to be a KPI for a strategy, I'm not sure what your priority is, but let's say your priority is open house and you say execution is your strategy. How many open houses are you executing, right? Or are you executing your strategy to do 1 open house a month? So try to add some outcomes or numbers or goals to that. I think that would help you a lot there. And then Bridget says she's going to add 10 people to her database a week, and she's going to consistently do social media posts, and she's going to visit 56 new properties to build relationships every week. So that means you're going to go to 1 property every week for the whole year. That's awesome. That's awesome. The only thing I will add to that is if you go to other agents' open houses, be careful, right? Because you can't jump into someone else's open house and then start trying to steal their buyers. So be careful there. But I love the strategy. Sounds great. And the other thing I would add, Bridget, is on your consistent media posts, social media posts, same thing I was saying to Corrine, I believe. Try to add a number to that. So you're saying consistent. Consistent to me is every day. Consistent to Debbie is once a week. Consistent to her is once a month, right? So what does that actually mean, right? So that you can hold yourself accountable to that. But thank you so much for sharing. Lisa says she wants to improve her social media interactions. And Bridget also says she's going to focus on 55 plus active senior properties as well. So great job, guys. So thank you all for participating and getting your 135, as we call it, at least a good foundation for it. Remember, it doesn't have to be complete today, but at least just starting it, I think she said it, like, gets my wheels going. Like now I'm thinking, like, once I leave this class, like, I don't want you guys to just be like, oh, that was a great class, right? And then take this handbook and like stick it somewhere where you're never going to find it. Like, no, give yourself a goal. Be like, all right, next Friday, I'm going to revisit this manual and I'm going to spend an hour on it. Give yourself that goal because that's the only way you're going to actually get your KPIs down, right? So make that commitment to yourself. And then Patty says she's going to post content each week on social media, I'm assuming, and she's going to consistently manage her social media profiles. That's important, right? I named more: Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then there's more, right? It just doesn't stop there. So there's others. So great job. So now I know we're close to 12:30. But we talked about something very important. For those online, we're going to go for another 5 minutes or so because I just want to cover this time blocking. I mean, we've been saying it all day, but actually we have slides in here about it. So your schedule will dictate how much money you make, right? Time blocking, new business before old business, daily routines, scheduling your day the night before, right? reading The One Thing, which is, you know, it's a great book. And then reading Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. There's tons of motivational books and, you know, ways to increase your production. It's not just these books. There's tons of them all over Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. If you walk around, grab one of them, $9.99. It'll help you. Trust me, it'll give you new ideas. It'll open your mind up, right? So when you look at this schedule, for example, it gives you two different schedules. So I'm not a morning person. I don't want to get up at 8 o'clock. I get up at like 10 and then I'll start my day. That's okay. If I want to run my business that way, that's okay. But then look, I still got a time block. From 11 to 12, I got to do business. I got to work on my business, emails, texts, do lead generation, whatever it is. But that's only an hour, right? But just keep that in mind. Then I'm going to take a break from noon to 1. I'm going to take lunch. From 1 to 2, I'm going to do lead conversions. Right, I'm gonna follow my potential listing customers and my buyer leads that I generated from my call appointments. From 3 to 6, I'm gonna do listing appointments and I'm gonna show properties, right? And that's me waking up late, right? So that could be you, that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Or you could be the early bird, catch that worm. 8 to 8:30, you're doing lead generation. Hey, it's true, I'm telling you. A lot of agents I know that make 6 figures and do lead generation, they start at 8 in the morning, I'm just being honest. So 8:30, you're doing lead generation prep. And then from 8:30 to 11, you're actually doing lead generation, right? You're going to take lunch from noon to 1. From 2 to 3, you're going to start servicing your business, answering emails, returning text messages, setting up appointments. And then you're going to stop at 6 o'clock and you're going to spend time with your family, right? Make sure you guys are time blocked, because if you don't time block, you're not going to do it. Like I said, the day's going to get ahead of you. You're like, it's 3 o'clock already? Where did the day go? How many times did you guys say that? I say it all the time. I'm like, where did the time go? Because time waits for no one, right? So with that being said, I know we talked about tracking your activity. This is a weekly tracker. There's lots of trackers out there. You can Google, you know, real estate tracking tools. Like there's so many different tools. This is a great one as well. It speaks to what we were talking about before: open houses, cold calls, warm calls. You want to track how much are you doing, right? Like how many cold calls did you actually make? Remember we spoke about the 200 calls gives you 40 conversations to give you 1 closing? How are you going to know that if you're not tracking how many calls you're making, right? So I would suggest you print this out and start tracking some of your activities. Again, it goes back to what we were saying. When you find out what works, you can double and triple down on it. So this is a great tool to use for you guys.
Is it online? It's not in our book.
It's not in the book. I thought it was. I apologize. Well, we can send, I know we do send out a copy, the handout, so I can see if they can add this back in there as well when they email it to you. And then, so for you guys online, I don't want to get too carried away on timing. For those online, we have hit 12:30. For those who are online for CE credit for the 3 hours. So the class is complete at this time for you guys. I just want to say thank you so much for participating. It's a pleasure having you guys online, and thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep going. You guys can hang on if you want to. I have a couple more slides to cover, but it's up to you. But thank you all for attending as well. So I think someone asked me, like, oh, well, what about last year? Like, I don't want to look in the rear view. Like, I'm moving ahead. Fine. I did 3 closings last year. I need to do 20 this year, right? Don't worry about the 3, but you want to worry about where your leads came from. But ultimately, rear view mirror syndrome, right? It's the should have. I wish I could have. I wish, you know, if I would have did this would have. Don't do that. Just focus on the new plan. If you realize you made a mistake, problem solve it, correct it, and then move forward, right? Unclear purpose. I think we talked about that here. Like if you don't have an elevator pitch, if you don't have a mission statement, and you don't know what the heck where you're going, like you're in the car, but you don't know where you're driving, you're just winging it. I'm just gonna stop at the first Dunkin' Donuts I see, right? Like, no, you gotta have a clear purpose, you gotta have a plan, and then you gotta execute on it, right? Isolating incidents, right? If something, like I said, very similar. Just isolate it, problem solve it, and move on. Don't let it happen again, right? Because none of us are perfect. Right? We all make mistakes. Just learn from that. I had an agent I was talking to actually a few days ago, and she was like, this is the worst situation that could have ever happened to me. And yes, I felt bad. You know, she had a situation, I won't get into the details of it, with a client. She made a mistake, and it wound up being a pretty big boo-boo. But that's why I said, don't beat yourself up. Like, apologize, of course, for the mistake. Figure out how you're going to fix the mistake. Fix the mistake. And then make sure you learn from it, so that you'll ever do it again, right? Lack of accountability. I'll say that for you guys. The KPIs. If you guys don't track what you're doing and give yourself goals to hold yourself accountable, who's going to hold you accountable?
No.
Nobody. And then you're going to get mad at yourself. You're going to say, oh, this year sucked. No, the year didn't suck. You didn't do what you were supposed to do to make the money and make it a great year, right? We started out, I'm committed to having my best year ever because, right? So you got to really focus on that and hold yourself accountable. I do have a quick tip for you guys as well. I know you talk about networking with agents. It is a great thing to do. I haven't taken another step further. Network with agents so you guys can help each other, right? You want to be accountability partners? Let's be partners. Like we talk weekly, every Friday, we talk at 2 o'clock. You tell me what your KPIs are. I tell you what my KPIs are, and you hold me accountable. I hold you accountable. It sounds silly, but it's not. Because if you don't do that, and you're not even doing it for yourself, you're never going to do it. That's just the honest truth. And we have a lot of agents at Maximum One that do that. We actually meet every Monday morning in each office in here, in this room, and agents meet, a handful to 10 agents, and they hold each other accountable. Did you do your calls last week? You're gonna say, yeah, of course I did. Well, they're like, well, how many? Because according to your plan, it said you were supposed to do 40. Did you do your 40? Why not? Right? So now you're embarrassed. You're like, wait a minute, I'm in the hot seat now. Like, I thought this was my business, right? It is your business, but you're not treating it like one, right? So, mediocrity circle of influence, right? Like, I like to be around like-minded people. You got to understand that sphere that you have around you. You want people to be like-minded. You want people to be positive. You want people to be focusing on growth, right? So just be aware of the people that you surround yourself with, because there are some people who will just bring you down. I'm just being honest, right? And they're Debbie Downers. They're negative Nancy's, however you want to call them. And please don't take that personal. If there's any Debbies or Nancy, I was just joking. And then insufficient personal development, right? Like we talked about, like he said, like go to CE classes. Like even if you walk away from this class with one thing new that you did not know, you just gained something that's priceless, right? So just keep investing in yourself. Keep investing in yourself. Lack of urgency, right? Of course, it kind of falls into accountability as well. Like, you know, we went to the schedule, and I don't want to get out of bed and get on the phone with people so they could curse me out, right? That's not the urgency. The urgency is you have goals to meet. Learn from that, right? Like I had one agent about 2 weeks ago. He said, I'm kind of down and out with these calls. I said, why? He says, because I get yelled at. Some people curse me out. And I said, well, what about the calls that you are having conversations? Oh, well, those calls are good, but I haven't gotten anything yet. Right? Because ultimately, the more you do, you're eventually going to get something out of it, right? And that goes back to I make 200 calls, have 40 conversations, and I get one closing, right? You just got to keep going, right? Don't let anything stop you, right? And use it as a learning opportunity. Fine. So, I have a story to tell real quick. I had I made a phone call this one time at 8 o'clock in the morning. The guy was pissed. The owner of the home was pissed. You calling me? I didn't even get in the shower and I got to go to work, dropping F-bombs and everything. I said, I'm really sorry. I apologize. Have a nice day. I hope don't effing call me again. Take me off your list. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry. I call him back 2 weeks later. Purposely? Of course.
Not at 8 o'clock.
Not at 8 o'clock? But I call him back. And he's like, I thought I told you, I said, I know you did, but the reason I called back is because I thought that I just called at the wrong time, and I apologize. You might have been having a tough morning and I didn't mean to interrupt your morning at home, and I apologize, but I was just giving a call because you have a beautiful home and blah, 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 blah. And next you stay on the phone with me. And I was like, you know what? If I think about selling, I'll give you a call. We had a really nice conversation for about 10 minutes and I kept in my database. Nothing has come from that, of course, to this day, but don't let that stop you is what I'm trying to say. You may just catch someone that just had a bad time, right? And so it's not about you, right? Don't take it personal.
And you never
It's-
know
it's-
what that seed is.
It's just what? Business.
Mhm.
It's just business, right? Do not take it personal. Brush it off. Just keep it going, right? So you snooze, you lose, as I mentioned. A lot of lead generation happens first thing in the morning. So 5 steps for a snooze-proof wake-up strategy, right? So set your intentions before you go to bed, right, of what you're gonna do tomorrow. Move your alarm across the room or your phone, if you can. The reason being, we just hit the snooze and then we just like go back to sleep, right? A lot of times we do that. Brush your teeth, of course, right? Drink a full glass of water and get dressed in your workout clothes so that when you wake up, you're ready to go, right? I know it sounds crazy, but it's actually a good strategy. And when I get to the next slide. So the moment you take responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you can change anything in your life. And that quote comes from Hal Elrod. I believe his book is Habits. So again, the moment you take responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you can change anything in your life. And I know you're like, oh, it's a nice statement. No, it's a true statement. And it's powerful. Like, it is really true. We just don't believe in ourselves sometimes enough to think that we actually can. But you can. You can do anything you want. Anything you put your mind to. So this is also quotes from Hal Elrod as well. How to win the day, right? Which goes to the you snooze, you lose. So you want to start your day, savers. Start your day with silence. If you guys can do some silence, some prayers, some meditation when you first wake up, that'll help obviously get your mind going, help start your day on a calm. You want to do some affirmations. I know it sounds a little cliche, but like nobody's going to motivate you but you, right? So like tell you like, I'm gonna kick ass today. Excuse my friend. Whatever, I'm gonna kick butt today. Whatever it is, like just give yourself some affirmations to kick you in the butt and get you moving, right, for the day. Visualization, excuse me. Visualize yourself doing what you blocked your calendar for. Because if you visualize in your mind you doing it, you're gonna do it, right? Exercise, we talk about going to bed in your workout clothes, right? It says it only takes 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes of exercise for the oxygen to start flowing to your brain. 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of jumping jacks, 5 minutes of push-ups, 5 minutes of just jogging in place, whatever it is. Just do something to get that blood flowing and oxygen flowing to your brain. Reading, of course, as you guys know, always helps put positive thoughts and improves your knowledge, unless you're reading the news, then that's a different story. So readings, we talk about like real estate readings. Maybe you got that book off Amazon. Read a page in the morning. That's it, 1 page. Give yourself a low goal. But if you do it every day, it's changing your habit. Next thing you know, you're gonna be like, 1 page only takes me 60 seconds. I could do 10 pages every morning, right? That's only 6 minutes or whatever. I'm making that up, 8 minutes or whatever it is. So, read some positive information in the morning, or just go on MLS and start reading real estate news, right? There as well. And then scribing and writing or journaling. So, if you wake up in the middle of the night or even during the day, see, I'm one of those people, I walk around with like Post-its. I'm a Post-it guy. So I make that little notes on a Post-it and I post it on my stuff. And then I go home and I put it in my calendar, or I put it in my to-dos and I do all that stuff. So any kind of writing or journaling, or even if you wake up in the middle of the night, right? Because I know it happens to all of us. We're like, oh, I couldn't sleep last night. I was up at like 2:30 in the morning. That's because something's on your mind. Grab a pen and paper and just start writing down what's on your mind. I bet you'd be surprised in the morning. You're like, that's what I was thinking about, right? So with that being said, every aspect of your business should have a systematic process, right? Your lead generation, your appointments, your hot leads, your business at a glance, your checklists, right? Any pending transactions, post closings, your production numbers, your schedule, right? It could be Google Calendar or it could be a paper calendar. Drip campaigns for all of your customers, right? Or your clients. And motivation and accountability and staying on track, which I gave you a lot of different ways you guys can do that as well. So today was really just to set up a systematic process for just planning for your business, but each one of these items has their own kind of check boxes in themselves as well. So, but there's a lot of checklists out there that you guys can you don't need to reinvent the wheel. A lot of this stuff either exists within your brokerage or online as well. And then things I have to do to accomplish this year's goals, right? Prospect consistently every day, at least 1 hour a day. Stick to your schedule, learn and train and take classes, right? Reach out for support when you need it, especially to your broker. Review your business plan weekly. I know it's a little much, but maybe monthly. But just review it. Maybe you want to change it. Maybe, you know, you said you want to do 10. Now you're like, damn, this cold call stuff is working. I got a couple of listings. I think I'm gonna change my goal to 15. You know, so just review it and change it if you need to. Plan the day the afternoon before, as we talked about. You know, learn your market. Like I said, it's not every market you want to learn. You don't. You want to learn your market. What is your expertise? What are you going to be an expert in? First-time home buyers, relocating, military, or maybe your expertise is just in a specific area. Maybe your expertise is just in Douglasville, right? So just be an expert at that. Stay focused on your goals, consistently use affirmations, internalize scripts and objections, have many sources of business, right? So, you know, as we talked about your 135, have many different sources, whether it's from social media, whether it's from postcard mailings, like whether it's from open houses, you gotta have multiple facets. So those agents who make 6 figures during recessions, they have like 10 different lead generation strategies. That's why they make 6 figures during a downturn. Because when one thing's not working, they have 9 other things that do work, or maybe 5. So stay accountable to my goals. Start every day at 0. Don't be like, oh, I had a listing yesterday. Woohoo! I made my goal for the week. No, today is Friday and you have nothing. You have no new customers. You have no new listings. You have no new buyers. You have nothing. So now it's time to get to work, right? Preview properties every day, like I mentioned. Log into MLS. Look at the hot sheets. What's happening in the world, right? Price listings to sell, of course. Don't overprice, and generate new business before servicing your existing business, right? Don't just say, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, just work my sphere, just work my sphere. You got to do both. You got to generate new business and work your sphere, right? And you want to make sure you're working your new customers before you work your sphere, trying to bring on your old customers and do something for them. Right. So with that being said, that covers our business planning portion. I know we're here till 2 for post-license. So, but I'll take a break. Give you guys a break. We'll do a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll cover some other material as well that'll help you guys. So thank you guys for hanging with me today as well. So thank you everyone online who hung out with us. Thank you so much.